Hi, everyone. Welcome again to Enjoy English School. I'm Bruce.
I'm Anthony.
Today in our Just So You Know, that's an odd title, Just So You Know, we're going to share some information with you that is pretty unusual. Most people don't know about it. And our title here is Wild Child. The two words rhyme. And it refers to a child who either does not behave very well, doesn't listen to the teacher or to his parents, or a person who likes to go out into nature and enjoy what the natural world has to offer.
没错，这是一个蛮有趣的 title。一般来讲，我们听到 wild child 都会想到是野孩子，野孩子，对不对？但事实上，它有另外一个可能的意涵，就是很喜欢到野外去享受大自然的这种人。好，你也可以用 wild child 来表达。所以在中文里头，我们的 title 就很特别咯。大自然中学习的野孩子，这边特别的野呢，还把它特别标注出来，其实是有一种文字的这种趣味在的。那我们赶快来看看今天的内容吧。
Okay, let's get busy with today's article. Human beings are part of nature, but for many centuries, we have been living in completely man-made environments. They're called cities.
Yeah, that's right.
Nature doesn't produce cities, we do, but we are born naturally. And so much, if not most, of our behavior and abilities and so on are still part of nature.
没错，在第一句话我们在看到说 human beings are part of nature， 在这边特别注意一下自然，只要提到大自然也好，自然也好，我们不加 the， 好，就直接讲 part of nature 就可以了，要特别注意这个小地方。好，人类呢就是大自然的一部分 ，but for many centuries， 它经过这么多世纪以来 ，we have been living in completely man-made environments。可在这么多世纪以来，我们就一直处在一种incompletely 完完全全是人造的环境里面。好，我们有非常非常多的城市啊，这种水泥做成的这种从都市丛林，有没有很多这种类似的这种主题？好，都在讲说我们跟自然切断了彼此的连结。
Modern cities make our lives quite comfortable, but most people live in a way that is disconnected from other living things and the natural cycles of the earth.So these cities that most of us live in, as he just said, there's a lot of tall buildings and roads made from crushed stone. These do not occur naturally in nature. However, this gives people a very comfortable lifestyle. When it rains, we don't worry about getting wet. Most of us have enough food most of the time. We don't have to go out hunting or collecting it.However, when we live in a city, we lose touch with, we are disconnected from. We lose touch with animals, plants, the mountains and the ocean, unless we decide to go and visit them.
没错，所以这句话老师刚刚提到 lose touch with， 就是与什么东西失去了联系，也在我们这句子里面有 is disconnected from， 用同样的一种方式去表达切断连结 ，OK， 所以这边的话，整句话说 modern cities， 好 ，modern cities 就是指现代都市 ，make our lives quite comfortable， 的确让我们过得非常舒适。But most people live in a way that is disconnected from other living things， 像其他的这些生物呢，跟我们人类完全是断开了整个的连结 ，and the natural cycles of the earth， 也跟我们地球这个地球之母，对不对 ？Mother Earth 也切断了连结，没有机会去感受这个自然的这种循环跟周期。
Let me give you another example of this natural cycles of the earth. We have winter and summer outside of our homes, but air conditioning in the summer and lots of nice clothes or a heater, a space heater to keep us warm in the winter. So we lose touch with, we are disconnected from even the natural seasons of the earth.
哦，对，这是一个非常好的例子。对，即便外面有四季的更迭跟变化，可是呢，走进房间里面之后，哦，开冷气、开暖气，完全没有感受到我们跟自然之间的这种关系，还有它外面四季变化时候带来的感受，因为我们都准备好了，空调可以解决一切的问题。
A special school in Western Australia is now creating opportunities for everyone to safely experience nature. So today we will take you to Australia, one of the largest countries in the world. It's a continent, but it's just one country and has very, very large states, as we do in the United States or the states of Brazil. Australia also has states. Many countries, though, like Canada, France, they have provinces, Province, 复数加 s, Province. Now, there's no difference. It's just the custom of the country. A state is a big part of a country. A province is a big part of a country, too.
That's true. 所以在这边的话，老师提到一个重要的字汇，叫做 continent。continent 就是大陆的意思，比方说欧亚大陆啊、澳洲大陆这个 continent。那澳洲本身是一个大陆，澳洲大陆 continent，continent，continent 当名词使用指的是大陆，它本身也是个国家。那它里面呢还有不同的州郡。OK， 这个地方老师刚刚提到 states， 所以本身澳洲呢非常非常大的这个国家，他就说了，今天我们要带你到澳洲去 ，a special school in Western Australia， 就是在西澳。澳洲西部的地方 is now creating opportunities for everyone to safely experience nature， 就是提供了创造一个这样的机會，让每个人都可以安全的方式去体验大自然。
Okay, let's take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's look at our second paragraph now.Steve Aldridge's school is called Wild Movement, and it is located near the city of Perth. Now we're introduced to a gentleman who is the principal, owner, and the king of a school, which he started and has called Wild Movement. Movement here refers not just to something not still but moving. It doesn't mean that. It means that many people are going to be interested in an idea and join it and support it. And it's a wild movement, as we see, to go back into the wild to find out more about nature. And it's near the city of Perth. I have been in Perth.
Mm-hmm.
That is on the west coast of Australia on the Indian Ocean.
所以在这边的话，老师去过 Perth 这个城市啊，它在靠近西澳靠海岸的这个城市，在这个西南角这个地方，所以他这边就提到说了Steve Aldridge School is called Wild Movement， 因为它这个名字叫做 Wild Movement， 所以它的 W跟这个 M 都是大写的。好，这个 movement 的话，不是指我们身体的活动，而是大家都会有兴趣去参与的一个运动那种感觉。好，就有人号召大家一起来做这件 Go back into the wild， 开始走入野外这样子的感觉。And it is located near the city of Perth， 它是在靠近 Perth 珀斯这个城市的附近。好，它是在这个地方建了一个学校。
Children and adults who attend programs at Wild Movement can learn survival skills like gathering food, making shelters, and building fires. We mentioned before that people today have been disconnected from nature. If you go out into nature, today we have to learn how to do that. Our parents don't teach us how to go out into the countryside and find food or build a fire and so on, but Mr. Aldrich's school does. And these we call survival skills, because if you're out in nature, we're not trained to deal with nature directly. We have to be trained to do it so that we can survive, so that we can live and not die.
没错，在这边的话，看到这个字 survival skills， 这个 survival 是名词，它如果是把这个 al 去掉，变成一个 e 的话，就是老师刚刚一直在讲的动词 survive， 活下来、幸存，就叫 survive。所以整句话你看哦，他说 children and adults， 好，就是不管是大人小孩 who attend programs at Wild Movement 来参与这个学校里面所教的课程的话 ，can learn survival skills。他们可以学到很多野外求生的一些技巧，好像是什么呢 ？Like gathering food， 怎么样采集食物 ；making shelters， 好想办法造个房子，让自己可以遮风避雨 ；and building fires， 怎么样去生火。
Some courses offer instruction on using tools such as knives or bows and arrows. So, tools we need in order to survive in the wilderness, and the school will teach children and adults who are interested in how to do that. We need knives to cut food, to protect ourselves. A bow and arrow, of course, would be used in hunting animals for food.
没错，所以这边还告诉你什么其他的东西呢 ？Some courses offer instruction。这边 instruction 指的是还有一些指导、一些 teaching 的感觉啊，它会提供一些课程。On 后面接的是它的主题 ，using tools 如何运用工具，像是 such as knives or bows and arrows。Bows and arrows 就是指弓跟箭的意思。好，在这边的话特别小心一下，有的时候你会看到 bow， 它可能会被人家翻译成 bow， 那个时候会是跟人家敬礼鞠躬的意思，它是个破音字，但是它跟这个弓箭的箭放在一起的时候，绝对是念成 bows and arrows。好，这个用法的话特别小心一下，耳朵要放利一点哦。
Others are focused on using plants to weave baskets, bags, and rope. So it's not all about killing animals to get your food. You can collect natural food and use natural plants to make things that are very useful. To weave is to take two pieces, long pieces of something and put them together and finally produce or make maybe a basket or a bag to carry things in, or rope, which can be very useful when you're trying to build a shelter.
没错，在这边的话还有什么呢 ？Others are focused on others 这边指的是 other courses， 好，他们是会教一些什么技能 on using plants 使用这些植物啊，然后去编织出一些 basket 一些篮子啦、袋子啦，或甚至编织成一个绳子。像老师刚刚所讲到，如果你要去造一个房屋遮风避雨的话，绳子就是一个非常好用的器具。当然这也要学咯。
Okay, let's take another break here, and we'll be right back. Okay, let's get to it. However, the skills taught are not the most important part of the programs. Well, that sounds strange, and we'll find out why. But anyway, skills are important, and they are taught. But there's more.
没错，所以这边的话 ，however 就是告诉你一个转折，对不对 ？The skills， 我们刚刚前面那一段讲到很多的求生技能 ，survival skills，you have to learn how to weave baskets， 好，甚至你还要学怎么样用弓跟箭等等。但这个地方他说 ，the skills taught。被教的这些技能 are not the most important part of the programs。那时候他就很好奇了，那不是学这些技术，哪有什么更重要的事情吗？
And that question is answered in the next sentence. The mission, the purpose, the goal of Wild Movement is to provide, to give a space where people can develop courage, that they won't be afraid to go out into nature. They'll be happy because they will learn to live in it, survive in it, and enjoy it. How? By taking small risks. Risk is a chance. And our modern lives are, I got to wake up tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, and then I do this, and then I do that. There's no choice. There's no chance involved in most cases. And it will allow people who are out in nature to reconnect, to connect again with nature, because we are part of nature. That is the natural world around us.
完全没错哦。所以这句话呢，他就讲了 the mission。老师刚才还补充 the purpose、the goal 都是指目标的意思哦。好 ，purpose 的拼法是 purpose，purpose 就是目的的意思。在这边我们用 mission，感觉听起来是更加的崇高了。这目的呢，整个这个学程的目的呢，是希望能够提供 provide a space。在这个地方 where people can develop courage by taking small risks。提到 risks 就是指冒险的意思，冒点小小的险来培养自己的勇气，这是他们的一个重要的目的。And feel connected with the natural world around them。事实上，你走进了这个自然的世界或野外等等，你还是能够感受到自己跟野外之间的连结，因为你知道怎么样在这里面可以活得下来，你有生存的 survival skills， 所以感觉上说，哦，我也不会害怕，甚至会喜欢大自然。
When we learn to appreciate nature and make sense of our place in the larger web of life, let's stop there for a moment. This is the result of studying in the Wild Movement School. You will learn to appreciate nature, to realize that nature is not strange and distant. We are part of it. That's where we came from. And our modern life is just a new part of the human experience. But our natural selves came from nature, and we should learn to be familiar with it and make sense of, to begin to understand who we are people, what are we doing here, and so on. In the larger web of life, that's a beautiful way to explain nature, the whole world. We can all have a better understanding. We can come to realize and finally accept who we are as people, how we connect with the world, how we can connect with the world, and nowadays, how to protect it as well, and what it means to be human. We're not animals like dogs and cows and wolves, but we are animals, but we're human animals, a very special kind of being.
没有错哈，所以这里的话，他最后就细细的去告诉你说，最重要这个环节是什么 ？When we learn to appreciate 就是指欣赏、喜欢，好 ，appreciate nature， 慢慢去了解到大自然的美好 ，and make sense of our place in a larger web of life。老师刚刚这边提到这个地方用法用得很美 ，in the larger web of life 指的就是大自然，对不对？我们不只是被困在我们的这种都市丛林里头，好，不是困在这种水泥墙里面，有机会去接触到大自然，从大自然角度再回头看看自身的这个状态，跟这个人生而为人的一个状态，还有你跟大自然之间的关系。We can all have a better understanding of。这个地方特别帮我把 of 圈起来 ，a better understanding 就是更加了解什么事物 of 后面记得要接这个介系词 of what it means to be human 生而为人的意义。在经过这一串这个自然的洗礼之后，你会更加了解原来生而为人是这么回事。我们不只是属于都市丛林的，我们还有机会跟大自然做更好的连接。
Okay, we hope you've come to understand a little better the text, the writing and the point of this article. Now let's get ready for our review. Okay, our review today, we have two things to discuss with you. Both are in the third paragraph, our last paragraph here, and in the same sentence, which is, the mission of Wild Movement is to provide a space where people can develop courage by taking small risks, ... Look at the first part here. Provide a space. You're probably thinking, a classroom, or an area outside of the school that has a fence around it, that kind of space. But here, space doesn't necessarily mean that. It could include that, but what's important is it provides an opportunity, a way for people to develop.
所以这边的话很注意哦，这个地方 provide a space 不见得一定是物理上的一个区块，可能是教室啊，或是任何一个地方把它围起来，然后在这个地方做这些事情。它可以指的是一种比较抽象的概念，是一个机会，是一个做一件事情的方式等等，用这种方式去表达。所以在这里的话 a space 不见得是指物理上实际的一个空间，可以是一个机会哦。
And that 机会, that opportunity, can develop courage. You're not afraid of nature. You're willing to try things by taking small risks. R-I-S-K is a word for chance, but it usually means a negative chance. We just mentioned opportunity, or another word, adventure.You don't know what's going to happen, but when we hear the word adventure, we think cool.
Yeah.
But when we hear risk,
没有错，所以大家提到 adventure, do you want to go on an adventure? 要不要冒险一下啊？然后他说好啊，如果你冒险用 adventure 这个字的话，大家觉得没问题，感觉到它是连接到兴奋的很刺激的事情。但如果说 do you want to take a risk? 要不要冒个险呢？用 risk 这个字来表达的时候，你会发现外国朋友就maybe next time 下次吧，因为 risk 它伴随的是比较负面的那种情绪哦。
Okay, that's it for today's lesson. Hope you enjoyed it.We'll see you the next time. Until then,
bye-bye.
第40页，生活快递，大自然中学习的野孩子。
Wild child. Human beings are part of nature, but for many centuries, we have been living in completely man-made environments.Modern cities make our lives quite comfortable, but most people live in a way that is disconnected from other living things and the natural cycles of the earth. A special school in Western Australia is now creating opportunities for everyone to safely experience nature. Steve Aldridge's school is called Wild Movement, and it is located near the city of Perth.Children and adults who attend programs at Wild Movement can learn survival skills like gathering food, making shelters, and building fires. Some courses offer instruction on using tools such as knives or bows and arrows. Others are focused on using plants to weave baskets, bags, and rope. However, the skills taught are not the most important part of the programs.The mission of Wild Movement is to provide a space where people can develop courage by taking small risks and feel connected with the natural world around them. When we learn to appreciate nature and make sense of our place in the larger web of life, we can all have a better understanding of what it means to be human.